What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be going over 5 class setups that I'm really enjoying using in Infinite Warfare right now. Keep in mind, these aren't necessarily the best or most competitive classes out there. These are more so just the classes that I'm having the most fun with at the moment. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so kicking it off, we have my Volk class. The Volk, for those of you guys that didn't know, just recently got a pretty big buff. It got significantly reduced horizontal recoil, and it's a very viable choice now. So this is the Volk class that I'm currently running. It's the Volk Vex, which allows me to aim down sight at the same speed as the other assault rifles, with an ELO, quick draw, and suppressor. This is an excellent attachment setup for the Volk. The iron sights are pretty good on this, but I've just gotten so used to using the ELO sight on pretty much every assault rifle that it's just kind of a default thing that I put on there. Quick draw is pretty much a must-have on all assault rifles, and suppressor is an excellent choice on the Volk because it has an amazing 3-shot kill potential, and even with suppressor, it's still a very good 3-shot kill range. For a secondary, we've got a P-Law. This just allows a little bit of versatility. I can shoot down streaks if I want, or if I get one of those pesky campers that I can't quite see, but I know he's around a corner or something, I can just blast that P-Law at the ground next to him and get that easy kill. For perks, these are kind of my standard assault rifle perks. I've got Dexterity, which just allows me to reload faster. I kind of feel lost with that Dexterity now. Ghost, which just allows me to stay out the minimap. That goes great with the suppressor that I have on this class. Scavenger just allows me to go on longer streaks without having to pick up a gun. And then Gung Ho on this. A lot of people might question that. With the sprint out changes that happened several months ago, Gung Ho is now very, very useful on assault rifles, especially if you're going to be relatively aggressive with them. If I come face to face with an SMG user and I'm sprinting, I'll be in big trouble if I don't have Gung Ho. So unfortunately, I would normally have Dead Silence, but in this scenario here, I keep Gung Ho on there because I have been finding myself sometimes getting caught sprinting and losing gunfights simply because I don't have that Gung Ho perk. So that's my Volk class. I've been having a great time using the Volk since it got that buff. Now let's move on to one of the guns that I feel is the most underrated in the game right now. This is the Titan. I don't see very many Titans used, and yet in my mind, it is a top tier gun for public matches. It's got great accuracy, a great magazine capacity, excellent range. Even with a suppressor, it's got great range, very competitive time to kill, and I don't know why more people aren't using the Titan right now. So if you've kind of been sleeping on the Titan, make sure you give it another shot. It is definitely a solid gun. And with this one, we've got the exact same attachment setup as the Volk, and I've already kind of explained why. Again, we've got that P-Law, and you'll also notice when you look at my perks, I also use this class as a shooting down streaks class. So if I'm using a different class and the enemy team somehow calls a warden in, then I can just switch over to this class and quickly take that thing out. So for perks, I've got Ghost once again, as well as Blind Eye. Like I said, I think it's important to always have a Blind Eye class available. We've got Hardline on this one, just because I don't feel like Scavenger's really needed because you start with so much ammo. And this is also great for getting a quick streak up. And once again, Gung Ho, same thing applies as with assault rifles, except even more so with LMGs now. The base sprint out time of LMGs is extremely slow, so you can't really be sprinting around too much without Gung Ho without being punished. So that's why on most of my assault rifle as well as LMG classes, you're now going to see Gung Ho over Dead Silence. Getting into my third class that we're going to be sharing today, this is my M1 class. And the M1 is a gun that I didn't really have any interest in for most of the game's life cycle, until recently. I just recently unlocked it with a classic unlock token, and I've been using it a little bit and having an excellent time with this gun. As long as you're able to pace your shots and take your time and make sure you're on target for every one of your shots, this gun is beastly. I absolutely love it. This is a great class setup for it as well. I like to run 3 attachments on this, and for me, I really like the iron sights of the M1, so I never even run an ELO or anything like that. Of course, if you want to do that, feel free. But I like to use quick draw, extended mags, and a stock on the M1. For me and my playstyle, I don't normally run a stock, so you'll notice on most of my assault rifle classes, there's no stock on there, whereas a lot of people like swear by a stock on an assault rifle. But with me and my playstyle, I tend to jump around quite a bit, and when you're in the air, stock is doing absolutely nothing for you. But with this M1 class, I find myself on the ground a lot more often, and therefore stock helps out a lot. Extended mags is also great just because you have that clip instead of the magazine, and therefore you can't reload until you completely empty it. So with extended mags, I just get more kills per clip, and I think that's a good thing. And again, quick draw I feel is like a must-have on most guns in the game. For perks, it's pretty much nothing new. We've got Dexterity and Ghost. I know I'm not running a suppressor on this M1, but I still usually like running Ghost just because I show up on the radar when I want to show up on the radar. So if I want to try and flank and be sneaky, I don't have to worry about whether or not the enemy has a UAV in the air. I can just go ahead and do that. And when I choose to show up on the radar and fire my gun, that's my choice and it's completely under my control. In addition to that, once again, we got Scavenger and Gung Ho. Same story, we got slow sprint out time. And with this one, I find myself running out of ammo just because you don't start with a ton of ammo. And a lot of times you end up wasting a few shots every now and then to empty off your clip so that you can get another reload in. Getting into my fourth class here, this is kind of my tryhard class, as well as a class that I dropped my most recent nuke with. It's the Trencher Gamma with Elo, Quick Draw, and Suppressor. Very popular attachment combination for me. I really like that setup. I used to always run Rifled Barrel instead of Suppressor on the Trencher, but it got that ninja range buff to it, and now Suppressor is a very viable choice on the Trencher. For this one, I don't have a secondary weapon. I feel like I don't need a launcher here, but I do have a jammer grenade, and I think it is important for everybody to have a jammer grenade on one of their classes at least, just because of vultures. Vultures and micro turrets can be very annoying, and jammer grenades are the best way to deal with both of those. So it's always nice to have that, especially on your more aggressive classes like this one. So I keep that jammer grenade there. And once again, we have exactly the same perks for all of the same reasons, except perk 3, you're going to notice, is Dead Silence. With SMGs, you don't need to run Gung Ho, and therefore that's freed up to use Dead Silence, so I can be very aggressive, and I don't have to worry about those people that have headsets hearing me before I get close to them. So this is the class that I'll often pull out in a really tough fight, or like I said, if I'm trying to go for a nuke, this is the class that I'm currently going to. Moving on to the fifth and final class that I'll be covering in this video. This is a shotgun class that I like to keep handy just in case I run into other shotgun users. I don't typically choose this at the beginning of a game, but if you run into like a Reaver user, for instance, or just anybody using a shotgun, sometimes they can be really good and really annoying to try to counter with regular guns. So I feel like it's always important to have a shotgun class ready to go. So I've got the Reaver Rodeo with extended mags, suppressor, and laser sight. And extended mags, pretty self-explanatory. You just want to spam this shotgun, and therefore a bigger magazine is going to be better because you can spam it for longer. Suppressor doesn't really hurt shotguns too much, so suppressor is always an excellent choice on shotguns. And laser sight also helps quite a bit, just so you don't have to aim down sight at all. You just keep hip firing, and it keeps a nice tight spread. For perks, we've got exactly the same perks that I used on my SMG class. I feel like this works out quite well. You can be stealthy off the map. Nobody's going to hear you coming because you have Dead Silence. You've got that Ghost. You've got Dexterity so you can reload quickly. And we've got Scavenger so you can keep up a streak if you happen to start going on a streak. So there we have it. Those are 5 classes that I'm really enjoying with Infinite Warfare at the moment. Like I said, not necessarily the best or most competitive classes, but they're the ones that I'm loving right now. And with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what is your #1 class that you enjoy using in Infinite Warfare right now? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.